Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be retrying a bunch of products that I initially disliked. I felt like giving them another shot, another go. I wanted to see if I still felt the same way about these products or if that specific product just did not play well with the other products I was wearing. I don't know, I think it's going to be a very interesting one. So before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. So for today's video, I am going to be using a foundation that I love and know the ins and outs of. I know how it performs on my skin, just because if I go in with a foundation that I dislike already, none of the other products I put on top of it are going to stand a chance. So I will be using the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrops today because I am the most familiar with this one at the moment. This is my most worn base product lately. So if I end up disliking anything that goes underneath or on top of this, I'll be able to tell it's that product and not the base one, if that makes sense. So underneath of that, I'm going to start off with the Nars Tinted Glow Booster. And this is a product I had really high hopes for, but I think it was just way too sheer of a glow. I kind of forgot I applied this today. It was very unremarkable. I feel like it was just a whisper of glow and not a booster at all. But I'm going to be using this as my primer today. And I have the shade Light. So I'm gonna take a few pumps, rub it in between my fingers. My sunscreen made me look really pale today. I put a thick layer of it. And I'm gonna put this all over my face because I really wanted to see what the glow does again, since it's been a really long time since I last used this. Yeah, see, it is pretty. It is a lot more glowy on camera due to my ring light, but in person here, I feel like it just gives the same amount of glow that a moisturizer would. And once you put like a foundation on top, it won't really show within it, you know? But honestly, this does look pretty good on naked skin. If you aren't going to be wearing a foundation, this is honestly really pretty, but I don't feel like it'll give you anything different than like a good skincare routine or skincare glow, you know? So now I'm whipping out my Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop in the shade 8. Okay, so there's the foundation on, and when I'm looking at myself in my mirror here, I don't really see a big difference with that Nars product underneath. My skin looks the same as it does when I just put the Eavesdrops on top of my skincare. So now for concealer, I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Concealer. And I've tried to make this work for me so many times. I really wanted it to work for me because I do love the foundation version of this. But for some reason, it just does not look good under the eye. So I'm gonna try it again. I have a lot of hope for it. Maybe it'll surprise me. My under eyes were really not cute today, and I don't know if it's because of this or because of the powder or maybe a combination of the two. I'm going to have to see, but the way this applied, it was lovely. I loved the finish of it. It felt very similar to the Kosas one. This is a fresher product in my collection. I believe it was featured in last month's roundup, so it's still pretty fresh in my memory. I just know this is a super creaser, but it looks so good initially. You can't move a muscle with this one or else it'll settle into whatever facial expression you do. Like, it looks so good initially. I really like the way that looks, but it just like immediately settles. So now moving on to powder. Throughout this, I realize I am a powder hater. I have a lot of them here. I have 5 in total. So the first one here is the Tatcha the Silk Powder. I have the Armani Luminous Silk Glow Fusion Powder as well. The Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I actually didn't like this, but I think I'm gonna try this one under the eye again today. I also have the Becca Light Shifter Finishing Veil and the Jason Wu Ready Set Matte Setting Powder. I think I'm going to try the Laura Mercier one under the eye and maybe another one on my face later on. I didn't like the Laura Mercier one because I found it to be a little bit cakey looking because it is more of a hydrated powder. You see, why did I knew that was gonna happen. And I don't really like powders that are like this in the actual container, that it kind of clumps up all together. I feel like those ones always result in like a more cakey finish. So I'm gonna try this under the eye again. Is this glowy? Wait, one second. Is this? Oh, Okay, that's why I didn't like this. This is the one that has like sparkles in it. Oh no, that's like highlighting my under eyes. Okay, this was a big mistake. I guess that's the point of today's video. I was wondering what was going on there, but that looks not good. Never mind that. I already know I don't like that because it has like, it's an actual like loose highlighter. Instead, on this eye, I'm gonna try the Tatcha one. I'm gonna give this one the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to give everything a benefit of the doubt. It's been a really long time since I used this one, so I'm gonna wait up from giving my initial opinion. Honestly, initially does not look that bad. It's just like a little bit cakey. I'm going to have to give this one a big no. I don't really like the way my skin looks where I applied it, even right here. I just feel like it looks a little texture enhancing. It really enhances my pores, and I feel like it didn't do a great job at setting my makeup. Like I feel like I could go for another layer already. As it's settling, I'm still not a fan of it. It's like darkening up my concealer and it's quite yellow. It's hard to tell over top of that Bobbi Brown concealer. I feel like that one is a cake maker. So both of my under eyes look quite cakey right now. So for my face, I'm gonna try the Becca one again. I'm just gonna use a bunch of powders here today. I wanted to give this one another shot because I don't really remember my thoughts on this one. I didn't like how it made my under eyes look, and this just made it really clump up together and make my under eyes look really textured. And it's also really texture enhancing in the center of my face and on my forehead, and it does have these little glitter flecks that I'm just not a fan of. I'm using the shade 1 Scattering, and I'm gonna use that to set my forehead. And I'm gonna use that on my chin. I'm not gonna do this area here because I have a few creams I might be going in with. So that one honestly does not look that bad. I remember why I didn't like it, because there's like these random chunks of glitter in it that have no business being there. It doesn't add like a lot of glow, it just adds like shimmer. Like the pearls that they chose to put in that product were far too big for the concept, I feel like. Other than that, I feel like it would have been an okay powder. So now moving on, I actually don't have a bronzer, but I might use the darker version of the Becca Light Shifter powder. I did do this in a past video, but I wanted to see how it looked as a bronzer once again, because this formula might be better as a bronzer. So the shade I'm using is 4 Vapor. Honestly, this looks quite nice as a bronzer. Honestly, the tone is not my favorite. It's a bit orangey, but it does perform quite well as a bronzer. It's blending out nicely, and it was quite pigmented. I just kind of piled on a lot of product there, so I'm just kind of trying to blend it away. Just gonna take my foundation brush and work at the edges, kind of opposite blending back towards my hairline. Honestly, not that bad now that I kind of took the color down. I don't see any like glitter pieces in this one, which is weird. I can see it where I set my actual face, but not throughout the bronzer. But I think that product looks so much better as a bronzer. So for highlighter, I have a few options here. I have the Buxom Wonderlust Glow Highlighter in the shade White Russian. Oh, I remember why I don't like that one. It's just because of the color. I feel like it's a very icy, like cool toned pink, and that's just not a tone I really reach for. I think same goes for this Jason Wu one. Yeah, it's like a blue. I also have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow makeup stick in the shade When the Nude Strikes. Watch out. Honestly, that one looks quite pretty. It is kind of a more pink tone. It looks like a smooth formula. I might try that one. And I also have the Milk Makeup Lit Highlighter. Wow. Not a big stick highlighter person right now, I guess. I don't remember what I disliked about the Milk one, honestly, but that one looks really pretty as well. I might go with the Milk one because it is a tone that I like, but the other three here are too pink for my liking, but I don't remember what it was about the formula that I didn't like. I do really like it. I feel like I don't like it as much as the Kosas cream highlighter or my Rare Beauty liquid highlighters. I feel like I'd reach for those over this one, but with that being said, I really like how thin this one applied and there's no glitter in it whatsoever. I'm trying to rediscover Milk right now. Would you guys like to see a full face of Milk makeup? I actually have everything good to go if that's of interest. Be fun to see my updated thoughts because I haven't been using that many Milk products in a while. I'm going to try applying it with my finger on this side, and then I'm going to use it directly with the stick on this side, but blending it out with my finger. What didn't I like about this? It's performing really prettily. I really like how sheer it is, and it's blending out really easily for a stick. I want to see how it layers. What didn't I like about this? I'm gonna have to like look back after this video because I like the looks of that. I really do. It's nice and dewy. Maybe I didn't like it because it felt quite wet, but it's really easy to work with and there's no chunky chunks from what I see. Let's see, little hair test. Honestly, it's not sticking. Like even when I pressed my hair into there, like one little strand. Not bad. I feel like this is a product that's going to be redeemed so far. I was unsure about this video. I felt too much of a hater, but something good is coming out of this. I actually really enjoy that. Now moving on to blush, I do have a couple options here. I have the Bite Beauty Daycation blush in the shade Coconut Rum. I also have a couple of the Wet n Wild blushes here, which I do really love the shade Mellow Wine. I think the reason why I didn't like these is because there is chunky pieces of glitter. I think that's gonna be a common theme here. I think that's the only reason why I disliked this. So I don't think I'm going to use these because Mellow Wine is one of my all-time favorite blushes. It's just the fact that those have glitter. And if that's something that doesn't bother you, I feel like you might enjoy these. And the colors are honestly gorgeous. I think the specific shade here, Pearlescent Pink, was like a Nars Orgasm copy or a dupe because it has like the same kind of glitter pieces running through it. Like they're not perfectly round, they're just like little flakes. I think that's what they were going for with this. I also have the Quo Beauty stick blushes, which swatch really nicely. I just remember them being too balmy, so it would like kind of remove makeup from underneath of it and it wouldn't apply the pigment in an even way. For the Bite Beauty one, I really liked the consistency of the actual product. I find that the moussey texture is really unique and fun to use, and it's also really nice to blend out. I just really disliked the packaging. It's not the greatest packaging for the formula that's inside of here because you really have to squeeze to get product out. It just makes it more difficult than it needs to be. And I think the actual formula was far too glowy for my oily skin type. It just made my skin look greasy without it actually being greasy. It was just too much highlighter vibes for my liking. And the last blushes I have in front of me here are the Pat McGrath blushes, and I feel like I need to give these a second chance because I feel like I've made up my mind about all the other ones I have in front of me here, so I feel like these are the winners. I'm gonna try the first shade I tried out initially, which was this one here, Paradise Venus. I'm really not a fan. I was so excited about this one, but it applied so horribly. Maybe it's the brush I used today. I'm gonna give this another go because I am in disbelief. But right when I touched my brush, it pretty much just stayed there and it was really hard to blend out, and I had to work it and work it and work it until my foundation lifted up. It just did not apply smoothly. It was anything but easy to work with. I'm feeling disappointed. I feel like I should set my cheeks just to see how it looks on top of set cheeks, because last time I feel like I've just applied it over top of foundation. I don't know. I'm just gonna add some of the Light Shifter one from Becca. I know for a fact that this does not have any glitter in it, so I'm not allowed to say that there's like a weird sheen running through it or anything. I'm just trying to set that area before going in with the blush. I think this is the cleanest blush brush I have in front of me here. This is one from Coach. And it's just like a nice angled brush. So I'm just gonna use this. I'm gonna tap off the excess. It's a good thing I tapped off the excess because this is still very, very pigmented. Like that's insane, it just goes on forever. I'm gonna look hella burnt, but I'm already having a much better time with this blush. I feel like it's not applying how I remember at all. Last time it was really picking up on anything and it was very patchy and muddy looking, but this honestly just looks like any other powder blush I have in my collection. In a good way, like it's performing well. I'm just going to try to take that down because that's far too much blush for anybody, even me. And while I'm taking this down, it's still looking really nice. I'm happy I gave this one a second shot today. I feel like this is another product redeemed. I feel like that looks gorgeous and the color is really, really nice as well. I just have to like put a sticky note on this one. Very, 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 very pigmented. Dab your brush once and tap off the excess for a couple minutes. It must have been whatever was underneath of the blush the last time I used this, and not the actual blush. So that's exciting. Second product for the win. So I actually don't have anything that I disliked for my brows or for eye primers, so I'm just going to quickly do that off camera, and while I'm at it, please enjoy the brow intermission. So for my eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using the Quo Beauty singles as well as their little mini palettes that they launched earlier this year. Here are some of the singles and here are the mini palettes. I mean, they're so cute. They're so cute. I was supposed to create some content for them using these products, but I remember there was barely any payoff or any payoff at all. So we'll see. I'm going to try to use the more pigmented shades in front of me just to see what goes on. I'm first going to start off with this shade here, Latte 86, which is just like a nice brown shade. Bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see my under eyes. Like, look, this one is like very interesting looking since it's like a highlighter under there. But I'm going to pack this shadow on my brush. This is a Smith 232, and I'm going to bring this into the crease. Okay, so that one has a little bit of payoff. Honestly, a lot better than what I remember. Just gonna try to build it up a bit. Honestly, not bad for like the tone in the palette. I feel like, okay, it's a bit sheerer, but that's what you expect. And now I'm going to use the deepest single here, which is Dark Roast 40. And I'm going to use this Anastasia A3 eyeshadow brush. It's like a packing brush. I'm going to pick up some of that color. Yeah, this is the one I think I was trying to work with in the past, and I couldn't believe how like sheer it was on the eye. And I'm really gonna try to like pick up some oomph, you know? Like it just applies like a sheer amount. Honestly, like that doesn't look horrible, but it's not what I would want from an eyeshadow like this deep. Like I'd feel like this would get really nice and deep and chocolatey. This on the eye just looks like this whole shade all over, you know? And for the amount of product I was picking up, like it's very, very sheer. I'm gonna bring that shade again all the way across the lower. Honestly, it's a lot better than what I remember, but still not like ecstatic about it, you know? I'm actually going to layer one of the shimmers. I don't think I used them, so I want to see what it looks like. Not bad for a shimmer. It's just more of like a subtle, like natural shade. Kind of mimics like an oily eyelid, you know? That actually is pretty. I remember I wanted to create the content with these two shades initially, these ones here, because I thought they were like unique looking, especially this one here. It's like a blue toned gray, but I remember like they didn't even show up on me here. They're swatched here. You can see they're just chalky colors, which is too bad. The browns are okay. They're okay. They're not fine. They're not good. I wouldn't recommend them. They're just okay. I think I'm just going to do the same eye look on this eye real quick and I'll be right back. So here's the shadow all done. Not bad. It's just very soft and way softer than you'd expect like this eyeshadow to be, you know? Like this looks like a complete different shadow. These shadows are deceiving. But anyways, I'm going to move on to mascara now. And I have the Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational here. This is a very wiggly wand. It's very loose, so I don't know about that. I usually like them to be a little stiffer so I can really get into my lashes. Like it doesn't follow through my lash very well. I feel like the curl in this lash has kind of gone away. I'm actually going to give my lashes a nice little curl. This is the Shu Uemura one, which is my favorite. And let's get back into this mascara. I'm curious to see how it performs a couple months later. Maybe it's like thickened up to its nice point, you know? I feel like a lot of mascaras get better with age. I do like the shape of this wand because I can really get into those inner lashes. The only thing is like don't like the flexiness of the wand. It's way too flexible. I do find that it feels quite a bit more thick than the last time I used it, which isn't a bad thing. Like I'm liking the looks of it a lot more than what I remember. It's just hard to get that length because the wand just wants to chill at the base and not follow through to the tip of the lash. Honestly, I don't hate what this is looking like right now. It's just a little bit tricky to use. Whatever powder I used under this eye, my eye has been stinging since. What did I put under there again? Oh, the Tatcha one. It like burns when I look down. Honestly, that looks pretty good. Really lengthened. I finally understand what the TikTok people were raving about. It's just more time consuming because of the flex. Honestly, might put this away in my collection. Oh, I'm making a mess. Okay, so here are the lashes done, and honestly, I really like them. For a lengthening mascara, not bad. This one got a little bit chunky on this side. I'm just looking at this one here because I was a bit more experienced with the wand. Not half bad. I might put this back into my mascaras here. I really like how that looks. Feeling good. We have 3 in the redeemed pile. So now let's move on to the lips. So for lips, I do have some lip liners here, which I don't remember what I disliked about them. So I'm interested to see my updated thoughts on them, I guess. I have the Jason Wu Stay Inline lip pencils. I have 2 shades, Nudist and Leave Me Alone. This one here is Nudist and Leave Me Alone. I think I'm gonna try Nudist. Looking at my chin right now, it's like really textured and weird. I wonder what I didn't like about these lip liners. Maybe because they're quite sheer and it doesn't really define much, but honestly not that bad. These ones do not have any lasting power at all. They super fade very quickly, and I find that they don't stay put very well. They kind of move around. They just slip and slide all over. It kind of shows your lip line through it. Oh, I actually do remember what it was. These actually kind of like bleed and disperse as you wear them a bit, which is really weird because usually lip liners kind of stop things from bleeding, but I remember these are super smudgers. Honestly, it doesn't look bad initially on. I do like the diffused lip line look. I just wish it was a bit more pigmented, but I feel like that's just me being very, very picky towards lip liners, which I'm allowed to be since there's so many choices out there. And finally for lips, I have the Nars Air Matte Lip Colors. I have 3 shades here, and I remember not liking these. I thought they were too texture enhancing, like they would fall into my lip lines a little too much, but I'm excited to see what it looks like now. Feels like it's dehydrating my lips a lot. It's not kiss proof or anything, it's just like a matte look. Really accentuates my lip lines and it makes me look very dehydrated. I'm gonna use this shade here. It'll suit the lip liner a bit more. This is the shade Trust. Not Trust, Thrust. Sorry. Should have known it's Nars after all. Honestly, that looks really nice. I feel like sometimes I'm just way too picky, which honestly isn't a bad thing, but I like that color. It's very fall, but I am remembering that I do have like a lip mask underneath since my lips were pretty dry. So I might restart the whole thing and try the red. I do really want to wear the red. So we'll see what it looks like on naked lips without a lip balm. Trying this again with the shade Power Trip. I do really like the applicator. It's kind of on an angle. See that? So it creates like a nice edge to the lips. If you're familiar with the MAC liquefied power lipsticks, these feel pretty similar. It's like Nars's version of those lipsticks. So they feel quite silicone-y and powdery on the lips and very comfortable, but it gives that matte finish. Like this looks gorgeous on camera. I'm struggling a little bit because I don't have a lip liner on, but I wanted to see what this looked like completely on its own. I feel like I tried these in the winter time, so when my lips were very dehydrated. Honestly, I'm really liking the looks of this lipstick. That looks freaking nice. And without a lip liner too, like pretty nice. I love how matte it is, but how comfortable it is. Very slippery feeling on the lips, very comfortable. I think this is another winner from today's video. Honestly, that's stunning and it's not streaky at all. Okay, I'm really happy I filmed this. Okay, so here is the finished final look. It turned out a lot better than I was anticipating. My under eyes look like trash, I will say that. Like all the under eye products I used today, absolutely knows. But I'm going to go through the products here that have redeemed themselves. I wouldn't go as far to say that I would recommend them yet, but they might make it back into my collection instead of my disappointment bin. So the first one here is actually the bronzer I used today, which was actually the face powder from Becca, the Light Shifter Finishing Veil. Honestly, this looks really nice as a bronzer, but would I recommend this over a bronzer? I don't think so, but it still performed really nicely. I don't know if I'd really use it as a bronzer often, but it did surprise me today. I felt like that was notable. The second one that I do see myself wearing a lot actually is the Mcgrath Blush. I'm really happy I gave this another shot. I remember my first video voicing that I disliked this. So many people were like, please retry it because they're some of my all-time favorite blushes now, and I get it. I see what it can be and I dig it. So I'm excited to try these out more. I do also have 2 other shades that I need to try, but I'm happy this was a success today. The other one that took me by surprise was the Milk Makeup highlighter. I don't know how this ever ended up in this bin, but I really like the looks of where I highlighted with this. Honestly, really pretty, not sticky, very natural looking. I really like how balmy it was, but at the same time non-sticky. I don't know, I really dig it. Also, this mascara took me by surprise today. I feel like it's thickened up and gotten to a really nice point. I don't think this is my favorite lash look out of all of the ones I have in my collection right now, but I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good if you're liking like a lengthened look. I do prefer a bit more volume in my lashes on the everyday, but this isn't bad at all. It definitely exceeded my expectations for today, so I feel like that was a win for today's video. And then the last one is this lipstick. I honestly can't stop looking at my lips in the monitor in my mirror. This is gorgeous. Why was I such a hater? I don't know. We're gonna have to look back at a couple of these products and see what was up with me, you know? But I think with that being said, that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you enjoyed it and if you'd like to see this again in the future, because I'll continue collecting the products I was disappointed by in this bin over here. But if you did enjoy today's video, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll link. I'm not too sure if I'll link. Okay, I will link all the products in the description so you can check out other people's reviews and such, or maybe my negatives were your positives, who knows. I'll still link all the products in the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.